Hey BC, it's Craig here. I'm here to do a thread entry. JC the Flip Side did a thread recently about intro to hair metal. And before I get started, Happy New Year. So I'm gonna start off with a video. So for me, I had a different. I mostly listened to the radio in like the 80s, so I didn't really get into the rock until like 81, 82, something like that. But one of the first bands that I listened to or got into was Night Ranger. So I have their debut, Dawn Patrol, then Midnight Madness, and what's this one? Oh, Seven Wishes. Um, great band. What's interesting is oh, what's his name? I always forget. Brad Gillis. He actually took the place when Randy Rhoads passed away. He went on a tour, replaced. You can't replace Randy Rhoads, right? Stepped in to help out with Ozzy's tour. So that was kind of cool. It's one of my favorite bands from the 80s. And I don't call it hair metal. I call it 80s rock and 80s metal. Because that's just what it was. I mean, yeah, they had big hair, and some people called it that, but it was after the fact, just like JC said. You know, I don't know if people. I mean, you can't talk about the 80s without talking about Mr. Bon Jovi. So I got New Jersey, 7800 Fahrenheit, and I got Slippery When Wet. So that was also good bands at that time. I was really into, you know, Def Leppard. I mean, I got quite a few. I got a couple of Def Leppards. I got this one and On Through the Night, and I got another one. I don't remember which one it is. You can't talk about 80s music like, you know, JC showed this, but this is the only one I have. Dokken. This is Back for the Attack. Great album. Then he talked about Motley Crue, so I'll show a different Motley Crue. This is my favorite Motley Crue album. Wish I had more Motley Crue. As the 80s came on, you know, this is right at 19. Is this 80? No, sorry. This is, yeah, 81. One of my favorite albums, you know, metal. I wouldn't call it hair metal, but definitely at the time, metal. I mean, AC/DC, come on now. Then as it went on, you got Guns N' Roses. They were big in the 80s as well. And then he showed this. This is one of my first rock records that I got into the rock scene, was Quiet Riot. So that's a great album. And you can't talk about 80s rock or even hair without Winger. Some people don't like Winger, some do. But some of them, and those were like a bunch of ones I listened to a lot. But there's other bands, you know, Saxon, Iron Maiden. I mean, the list just goes on. And everybody has their own definition. But some of the ones that maybe some people aren't gonna say is Kill. Great rock music. This is The Right to Rock. Check out Hype Out JC. And The Final Frontier. And of course, yeah, Y&T. Love Y&T. In fact, JC sent me this record. Thank you, JC, for that hype. I'm surprised he gave that one up. I appreciate it, buddy. Great album. In Rock We Trust. And Open Fire. I could just show a ton more, but I wanna leave some for other people. But that's my thread. Some of the 80s hair metal or rock or just 80s, what I call 80s. I'm stuck in the 80s. I love the 80s. Mostly 60s, 70s, and 80s. Most of my records, the top are 80s, a little bit newer, and then country, old country, and then you got big selection of the 70s. But yeah, I love the 80s. It was my time. Even the pop was good as well. But anyway, this is my thread. I wish everybody out there a happy new year and just a year of blessings. We'll talk to you soon. All right. God bless.